Strength training is dangerous after 40. Well, let's clear this up. Strength training isn't dangerous. Improper programming or coaching and no progression or working out the way you did possibly when you were 20, 25, 30 years old, those are dangerous. There is a huge difference between randomly lifting weights with no plan or lifting weights in the middle of cardio or a fast circuit or a fast class and intentional, coached, and progressive strength training. Welcome to Real Women, Real Results, the podcast where we go beyond the reps and dive into what it really takes to live a stronger, healthier, and more confident life. I'm your host, Jamie Revelle, women's fitness expert and founder of W3 Body Women's Training Gyms in Chicagoland. Each week, we'll bring you real stories, expert insights, and the tools you need to create real results. Let's get into it. If you're over 40 and you've ever thought, I'm afraid to lift weights because I don't want to get hurt, or my joints already hurt, strength training will probably make it worse, this episode is for you. Welcome back to Real Women, Real Results. I'm your host, Jamie, and today we're talking about something that I truly believe can change the entire trajectory of how you age, strength training after the age of 40. And I don't just want to tell you that strength training is important. I want to take you on a journey inside your body so you understand what's actually happening to your muscles, why things start to feel harder after 40, and why strength training is not dangerous, it's actually protective. Because once you understand the why, everything changes. So let's start here because this part matters. Around the age of 30, and more noticeably after 40, our bodies naturally begin to lose muscle mass. This process is called sarcopenia. Now, I want to pause here because sarcopenia sounds scary, but it's not a disease. It's simply what happens when muscles aren't being challenged. Without strength training, women can lose up to 1% of muscle per year. That might not sound like a lot until you realize what that looks like over 10, 20, 30 years. And here's the important part. Muscle isn't just about looking toned. Muscle is what stabilizes your joints, what protects your bones, what supports your posture, what allows you to move confidently, what keeps you independent as you age. So when muscle decreases, it's not just about strength. It's about how your entire body feels and functions. This is one of the biggest myths I hear. And let me back up and just say, this section that I'm going to talk about is why joint pain is not a reason to avoid strength training. So one of the biggest myths that I hear is that I don't want to lift weights because my knees hurt, or my back already bothers me, or I'm afraid I'll make my joint pain worse. But here's the truth, and this is so important. Weak muscles put more stress on your joints, not less. Your muscles act like shock absorbers. When they're strong, they help distribute load properly. And when they're weak, your joints take the brunt of the work. Your ligaments get overworked, your posture suffers, pain becomes more frequent. Strength training, when done correctly, actually improves joint stability, strengthens the muscles around the joint, reduces wear and tear, improves range of motion, this is why women who strength train often say things like, well, my knees feel better, my back pain improved, I move with more confidence. And one that I hear a lot is that their balance has improved. Well, it's not magic. It's muscle doing the job that it's designed to do. So, another myth that I want to bust. Strength training is dangerous after 40. Well, let's clear this up. Strength training isn't dangerous. Improper programming or coaching and no progression or working out the way you did possibly when you were 20, 25, 30 years old, those are dangerous. There is a huge difference between randomly lifting weights with no plan or lifting weights in the middle of cardio or a fast circuit or a fast class, something like that, and intentional, coached, and progressive strength training. When strength training is done well, it actually reduces fall risk, improves balance, protects bone density, supports metabolism, improves confidence in movement. And here's another myth that I want to bust. You don't need to lift heavy right away. You don't need to go all out. You don't need to be sore all the time. What you need is consistency, perform, smart progression and a program designed for your body. So, I want to talk about next the reason that cardio alone isn't enough after the age of 40, because I think that a lot of us, we have lived through various fitness trends and not necessarily really recently, but we're coming out of some years that really emphasized cardio, and where cardio is great and we'll talk about it, for your heart and lung health. It's not going to help us age well and live better and of course live stronger. It's just not. So let's talk about why cardio isn't enough. Cardio alone isn't enough after 40. So, of course, like I said, cardio has its place, but cardio alone does not preserve muscle. In fact, excessive cardio without strength training can actually accelerate muscle loss, increase joint strain, leave you feeling exhausted but not stronger. Strength training is what tells your body, we need to keep this muscle. And when you keep muscle, you burn more calories at rest, you improve insulin sensitivity, you feel more energized, and you age more confidently. And like I said, you move better and you live better. And so that's why strength training becomes non-negotiable after 40. It's truly not optional. So, ladies, it is not too late. Okay? This is the part I really want you to hear. It's never too late to build muscle. Women in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s and beyond can still gain strength, improve bone density, feel better in their bodies, move without fear. Your body is incredibly adaptable. The key is starting where you are, not where you think you should be or where you should have been. And so therefore you're not, right? It's not about that. It's where are you now and where can we get you to where you want to be in the future? Because think about it. Think about what's going to happen if you don't. To me, that's such a powerful question. And I I don't ever want to be negative and I don't want to phrase that in a way to scare any prospective member who's coming in, but it's so true. Think about where you would be in a year, 5 years if you're not doing something about it and if you're not strength training. I will tell you that you're actively losing muscle if you're not strength training, and then I want you to take that one step further and think, how is that going to unfortunately affect my life if I do continue to lose muscle? And on the flip side, how is it going to positively affect my life if I do have more muscle and I am stronger? Like I said, the key is starting where you are and not where you think you should be. You do not need perfection. You need support, guidance, and consistency. That's why we do things the way we do at W3 Body. And we don't throw women into workouts and hope for the best. We coach, we guide, and we progress intentionally. Strength training should feel empowering, not intimidating. It should feel safe and not scary. It should be supportive and not overwhelming. So the goal is not just today's workout, it's to be strong for life. It's something we implemented recently at our current locations in Berwyn and in Elmhurst is something that we call a foundation session. So when someone joins our training programs, our 4-week trial, we introduce them with a one-on-one session because we want to help them understand what are the basic ways that we move every day and what happens if we start to do that in a strength training program. So, and that's the way that we program. It's based on functional movement and how we move in everyday life, which is why it's a part of our training philosophy and why I believe in it so much. And I think that it's so valuable is because we're not just having you do random movements. There's a method to how we program. And every time you come in, it's a balanced total body workout based on how you push and pull every day and how you squat, lunge, hinge, right? Knee and hip dominant movements. And so you're going to do all of those things in different ways. That's how we keep it fresh and exciting, but also have a similar goal in mind. So it's really important. And like I said, it's not random, but there is a method to the madness. So if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, well, maybe strength training is something I need, I want you to know this, that you don't have to figure it out alone. Whether it's with us at W3 Body or another supportive environment, choose strength, choose muscle, and choose longevity, choose confidence. Because strong women don't just age, they thrive. Thank you for listening to Real Women, Real Results. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend who would benefit as well. And don't forget that we are opening our new location in Hoffman Estates in February 2026. And if you are in that area or you know someone in that area, please reach out. We have pre-opening offers going on. And if you're in the Berwyn and Elmhurst areas, we have promotions going on for you as well to kick off your new year and get stronger every day. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Real Women, Real Results. If you loved this episode, be sure to follow the podcast and leave a review. It helps more women find these powerful stories. If you're local and want to join our gym, check out our 4-week trial. Head to train@w3body.com for more info. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, w3body_Berwyn and w3body_Elmhurst for more strength, support, and community. See you next time.